Hey there, my name is Alex, I am the Silver Mont, and we're going to talk about Year 2 of Genshin Impact. Alarmingly, it has been 2 years since the game came out already. I've been playing it, well, pretty much every day, even if a majority of that is probably just hopping on to do daily nonsense in 5 minutes and hopping off again, such as the curse of these daily games. So we're going to talk about how the game is going, including issues from my Year 1 review. Have they fixed some problems since then? Indeed, have they fixed any issues at all since launch? Now, I don't really want to repeat myself too much, as I've already spoken about these issues I have at great length in the, well, Year 1 review and the launch review. But in summary, no, my main issues with Genshin haven't been improved upon. The game's co-op is still poorly implemented. There's no reason we can't do co-op world exploration with puzzles being tracked in the worlds of other players. If I join my friend's world, we solve a puzzle, we open a chest, it should flag it as, well, open and solved in my world too. We get the rewards just once, so you can't just go to infinite players' worlds and keep getting primo gems or whatever. Ultimately, co-op at the moment, and since launch, has only been there as a useless way to make domains longer. I got an in-game tip a few days ago that made me laugh. It was something along the lines of, stuck on a daily commission, get help from another player in co-op. Who does that? But yeah, unless you're a very new player with characters who aren't built up, co-op in domains is useless. There's no reason to, well, there's no incentive for players to help these people who actually would need the help. Because I know if I go into co-op, it's going to take me twice as long when most of the time when I'm hopping in, I just want to get stuff done as soon as possible until the next event is up or whatever. So perhaps the developers should put in a system that incentivizes higher ranked players to help out newer players. I don't know what it would be. Maybe if you help out a certain number of lower ranked players every week, you get, I don't know, some primo gems or whatever, just some sort of incentive. Because right now I haven't done co-op in Genshin in a long time, and only then if my friends are on and want to do domains. And even then, not because they want help, just because we happen to be on at the same time, why not do it together? The other issue I had with Genshin was the gacha system, which hasn't really been changed at all since my Year 1 review. The only change we've had overall, in total, was the weapon pity system, where you can select a weapon that you want to get after a certain number of pulls, which was during Year 1, if I remember right. So since then, no, there's no changes. The game's gacha is restrictive, but again, at the same time, you don't need the best characters and weapons to clear everything. But surely the point of a game that has all these unique characters is to try and collect all the ones you like, if not all of them. That can be tough, if not downright impossible, as a free player. It would take, I don't know how long you would have to play to get every character, because you'd have to do repeat banners and they keep adding characters, so it's just not feasible. Even systems like dropping pity down from, I don't know, 75 to 55, or giving us a daily pool, would alleviate the problems only a little bit. And if anything, lately they've been front-loading character constellations to try and encourage people to go for a C1 or a C2, usually C2, by putting some very strong-looking things in there. And that's ignoring the fact that constellations can only be gotten through duplicates. If I had another problem with Genshin, one that is quite frankly baffling, that it still exists after 2 years and however many months of beta, is the fact that we still can't change from keyboard to gamepad seamlessly without closing the game. Aside from this, Genshin has remained fairly consistent. The updates are frequent, the quality has remained impressive given this update schedule. Sure, there's typos in the localization here and there, but the game gets new areas, characters, events and things to do every few days. And at times, there's almost too much to do. I remember there was one time, I want to say it was when 3.0 came out. 3.0 came out the same day, pretty much, as a big Final Fantasy XIV patch and a big new season patch for Destiny 2. And it's like, can we, like, stop having all these things happen on the same day? My goodness, how is someone supposed to keep up? Indeed, with the launch of 3.0, they seem to have reduced the patch cycle time. We seem to be getting patches like, what, it's like once a month now, pretty much. Like 3.1 came a lot sooner than I thought it would, likewise for 3.2. The big changes with 3.0 were, of course, adding Sumeru as a new region, and the first new element, Dendro. Probably the only time they'll add a new element, frankly. Unless, I don't know, in 5 or 6 years from now, when we're right at the end of the Teyvat storyline. Teyvat? I don't care. They start putting, I don't know, like, space and time elements, or light and dark elements. Sumeru is a cool environment, although it definitely had more verticality than I expected, or at least a lot of underground areas, which confused me when it came to the UI, not always being 100% clear if you're above or below something. Dendro, well, it seems to be the reaction master element. Combine Dendro with Electro and Water, and you have some very strong reactions, which seems to have slotted into the game's current system rather well, if you ask me. The longer the game goes on, the more likely it is for us to see things we've already seen. Like, I mean, remember when people thought Ganyu was going to be Ice Amber, for example? But up until now, I think they've done a decent enough job at giving characters their own niche or role, even if you've got some characters like Toma and, well, more to the point, Xinyan, who don't really warrant their existence from a gameplay perspective, sadly. Which is a shame, as I like Toma and I like Xinyan quite a lot. The notion of getting into Genshin now as a new player is a daunting one, I think. I'm trying to imagine all of the stuff a new player would have to do, and it's a lot. You have to go through Mondstadt, Liu, Inazuma, Sumeru, and like, what if you just start the game, you put on the banner and you get a Sumeru character, but then you can't go to Sumeru to get the materials you need to level them up, and all the events you've missed? Like, I don't know how that would work out. At the same time, though, I think the game is generous enough in giving you some of the best sort of starting characters, either for free or making them readily and easily available. They definitely need a way to replay old events, though, or at least the cutscenes from them, I think. Some sort of, I don't know, forgotten memory system at the inn. Just copy Final Fantasy XIV, why not? Because these events, they have a lot of important stuff in sometimes. I'm still engaged enough with the game to see where it's going, though. So perhaps I'll see you next time. Maybe you played at launch and you stopped playing. Well, would you like to get back into it? I'd say, sure, there's some good stuff. The story, yeah, I mean, if you like the story, then it's interesting enough. But for now, I suppose I'll see you next time after, what's the next area releasing? Fontaine? Yeah, see you when we're all flying around in flying cars or whatever's going on in Fontaine. Till then, ciao.